Kenya's economy is largely driven by the informal sector, including the yokari industry, fishing, and the SMEs. However, despite its significant contribution to employment and GDP, this sector remains largely unstructured. Formalization and support mechanisms are necessary to enhance sustainability, financial inclusion, and business resilience. As Peter Drucker wisely said, culture eats strategy for breakfast. It is the values and adaptability within our businesses that determine success, not just well-laid plans. These famous words by Drucker remind us that no matter how great our strategies are, if we do not build strong workplace cultures rooted in adaptability and innovation, success will always be out of reach. Ladies and gentlemen, the challenges facing businesses today are enormous, but surmountable. And they include, but not limited to, high taxation burden. Employers in the formal sector are overburdened with taxes, making the cost of doing business unsustainable. The Laffer curve teaches us that overtaxation can be counterproductive, as excessive taxation discourages investment and economic activity. This concept shows that beyond a certain point, higher taxes usually reduce government revenue because they stifle business growth. When businesses struggle under excessive taxation, they cut jobs, reduce innovation, and sometimes shut down
Okay, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. A warm welcome from to all of you. We are here at in Kisumu City at the Big Hotel. And my name is Geoffrey Maumo. I'm the PR and Communication Manager at the Federation of Kenya Employers. And it's my pleasure to be your MC in this event. Ladies and gentlemen, we are happy today for you to join us. We extend our welcome to the online community and the people, the guests who have joined us here. You'll allow me to mention some of the guests in the room. We have Ms. Jacqueline Mugo, who is the Executive Director of Federation of Kenya Employers. We have Professor Nicholas Letin, who is the Chief Executive Officer for CASNEP. We have Dr. Margaret Olo. This region has done election, and she's the immediate past president of this region. And we have our chief guest today is Dr. Edwin Baraza, the Dean of Schools of Business and Economics, Jaramogi Oginga Odinga University of Science and Technology. And our newly elected president for the region, Mr. Thomas Odongo, who is now the new regional president for Western region. And our consultant, Nelson, we are joined by the CEO of the MD of Nelson East Africa and West Africa, Ms. Faith Wandera, who also in the room. Now, ladies and gentlemen, now it gives me great honor at this particular time as we start off the launch of the Employer of the Year Awards. I want to take this opportunity now to go and invite our first speaker, and I'll be able to give a profile of our first speaker. She's Ms. Jacqueline Mugo, the elder of the Banyan Spear. She's the Executive Director and CEO of the Federation of Kenya Employers, an advocate of the High Court of Kenya, and is the president of the International Organization of Employers, being the first African woman to be elected in this position. She's also a titular member of the governing body of the International Labour Organization and serves as the Secretary General Business Africa. And of course, she serves on various boards and committees in this country. Now, please join me in welcoming Ms. Jacqueline Mugo. Welcome, Madam. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Jeffrey, for your kind introduction. Our chief guest, Dr. Edwin Baraza, Dean, School of Business and Economics, Jaramogi Oginga Odinga University of Science and Technology, formerly known as JOUST. The newly elected Western Kenya Branch Regional President, Mr. Thomas Odongo. The immediate past Regional President, that's the first time you've been called that, Dr. Margaret Olo. Professor Nicholas Leting, Chief Executive Officer, CASNEB, a member of FKE and a partner to FKE in this regional branch, AGM. Our consultant, Nielsen IQ, represented here by the MD, Ms. Faith Wandera and Paulina Chayo. Esteemed members who have joined us virtually and those present here in the room, members of Western Kenya branch, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, it is a great honor and privilege for me to welcome you to the launch of EYA 2025. This is the 5th edition of the Employer of the Year Awards, which was launched by the Federation of Kenya Employers a while back. And I'm very grateful that you've taken time to join us this afternoon. So what is the Employer of the Year Awards? This Employer of the Year Awards is an initiative of FKE designed to promote and encourage best practices in corporate performance, people management, and industrial relations within businesses in Kenya. The effort seeks to raise and sustain productivity, enterprise performance, and responsibility. FKE wanted to have an award that recognizes the good work that employers do in this country and beyond. Because often employers are on the firing line from all sorts of corners, and nobody really takes time to appreciate you for the work that you do. For this year, and for all the other years, the theme we've been running on is honoring best employers. The last Employer of the Year Awards and Gala Dinner, we call it EYA, was held in the year 2023 and brought together more than 600 employers. So let me take this opportunity again to congratulate those who won in the 4th edition of EYA. There are many categories and there are many winners. I'm just mentioning the top 3. Isuzu East Africa emerged as the overall winner. The first runners-up was Cigna Healthcare, and the second runners-up went to Crown Paints. Let's appreciate them. So last year, FKE decided to take a break and carry out a webinar to encourage more participants from you and to help you understand what is needed for you to participate in EYA, to succeed and to learn. This session was facilitated by our consultant, Nielsen IQ. They covered very important topics, including evaluation criteria for participants, insights from the 2023 EYA event. They gave you practical tips to enhance your chances of success and to encourage you to participate as an employer. I believe that these insights, which were shared in the webinar, will contribute to a higher level of participation from employers. I have encouraged members from this branch, FKE Western Kenya branch in particular, to participate in EYA because we've decided to launch it out of Nairobi for members to see that all corporates in this country have a chance to participate in EYA. It's also a learning process. You go there to win, yes, but you go also to learn as an organization from other members. Why is EYA important to us? There are many reasons. The world is talking about decent work. Enterprises are being looked to create jobs, not just jobs, but decent jobs. There are guiding principles and instruments that inform this work. For example, here in Africa, we have what we call the Abidjan Declaration, which was adopted by members just before COVID in the year 2019. That informs decent work. And we have committed on your behalf as FKE to transform Africa's informal and rural economy. We also have the current Director General of the ILO's vision, which is Global Coalition for Social Justice, which emphasizes the need for a fair and inclusive workplace and recovery. But it boils down to the various areas of business that you are responsible for as employers. And we are committed as FKE to build your capacity towards this end and to see to it that the process of EYA helps in the end to impact the level of performance of your organization. FKE is a leader in industry relations, you know this, and in many other areas. Our focus is work, the workplace, employer-employee relations, the laws that govern work and the workplace, how business is done, responsible business, and those kinds of areas. So we benchmark for you as members against the best in the world because we are part of the International Organization of Employers that Jeffrey was talking about. And through that, you have over 150 organizations in 150 countries to benchmark against and to assess where you need to align for you to achieve best practices, not just in industry relations, but in all business areas, and to help you navigate what we are calling the challenges in the world of work, both present and in future. So for us as FKA, conducting an assessment through the Employee of the Year Awards allows us, with you as members also, to evaluate what changes have been adopted and what still needs to be done at the corporate level to enhance your performance, to build this future of work and the future of business. The ranking consists of 3 main categories. At the top, we have the overall winner. I've just told you who the last one was. This one gets the gold award. Then we have the first runners-up gets the silver award, and the second runners-up gets the bronze award. The assessment is done in 9 categories. We've introduced another category. Those of you who've been following EYA know that we had 8. Now we have 9. So the 9 categories that are featured are leadership and governance, corporate performance, innovation and productivity, responsible business conduct, inclusiveness and diversity, workplace environment, learning and development, HR practices and industry relations, and the newest one, small and medium enterprises. Because we felt that SMEs somehow got the impression that they were not included. This was just for the big businesses. No, EYA is for everybody, small and big. Who can participate in the Employee of the Year Awards? Every corporate in this country. It is open. The award is open to all FKA members. We've been asked, why don't you allow non-members? We are considering that. We may for this year. But really, all corporates who are FKA members who wish to be recognized for their excellence in labor and general business practices can participate in EYA. So why should you participate in EYA? Many, many reasons. I hope I've already given some. But by participating in the Employee of the Year Awards, employers enhance their brand recognition and reputation, both locally, regionally, and internationally. So some of the benefits, you will actually get a comprehensive report on request, which will show you the areas where you performed well and where you need improvement. As an organization, you can get an organizational report. You will have an opportunity to create, maintain, and enhance brand awareness among a wide, relevant, and high-profile audience, the corporate world. You have opportunity to network and generate new leads that could significantly impact the return on your investment. You will also be able to influence your peers and gain recognition as a key player in the Kenyan labor market. And finally, you will learn from the best in the market. So how do you submit an entry? It is easy. This is done online. You can submit your entry through the EYA website, which I think is being displayed or will be displayed on the screen, www.eya-kenya.org. There's a website for it specifically, and I believe our consultant will explain this in greater detail. Other than participating in EYA, I would like to invite you on behalf of the Federation of Kenya Employers to sponsor EYA. We've been asked over the years, so how do you expect corporates to sponsor and participate at the same time? Isn't that funny? It is not funny. It is not unethical because actually as a federation, we do not do the assessment. So you can sponsor EYA and still participate because it is done. The assessment is done by a consultant who I'll soon be introducing. I call upon you members to help us in delivering an excellent EYA this year. The sponsorship packages are very well captured in a brochure that we have. We give you opportunities to sponsor either the entire event, you can sponsor the dinner event or parts of it, or any of those 9 specific categories I spoke about. You can give in kind and in cash. We have members who've just decided, I just want to do a pre-event cocktail for members. You can do that many ways. But all the events that we deliver as FKA, we deliver with your support. And I'm very encouraged by the support you've given us over the years. We're looking to you to give us that support. The actual awards and gala dinner will be late in the year. I think it's September or October. So we normally give a 6-month lead time for the assessment process to happen. And I hope I'll be seeing you as a sponsor this year and also as a participant. I want to conclude by saying a big thank you to all of you for joining this launch and for being part of the Federation's journey. Asanteni sana. It is now my distinct pleasure to introduce our consultant who has been conducting this EYA for us. And that is none other than Nelson IQ. The actual person behind that name is Paulina Chayo. She's the head of strategic analytics and insights at Nelson IQ East Africa. With over 20 years experience in market research across East Africa, the Middle East, and regions like the UAE, Pauline brings deep expertise and understanding in consumer behavior. She has a background in journalism, so communicates very well. She's worked for the Standard Group and Ipsos Innovate, which has honed her storytelling and reporting skills. So prepare to hear stories from Pauline. She specializes in telecommunications and FMCG. Pauline leads Nelson IQ's strategic analytics and insights team. She'll tell us what that is, and has played a key role in evaluating the Employer of the Year Awards 2023. I had conversations with Pauline about the assessment and the outcome in 2023. I was amazed by her detail and how she got to understand this award and what it seeks to do. And let me tell you, they are tough. She's tough. Nobody gets anything just by being who you are. You have to show evidence that you're excelling in that particular category. So Pauline, without further ado, karibu sana. Let us clap. Let's welcome Pauline to come to the stage to tell us about EYA 2025. Karibu.
Good afternoon, Kisumu. It's a pleasure to be here. It's a pleasure to be in the Lake region. What an amazing introduction from Dr. Jacqueline Ngo. I'm very humbled by that, and I will not take a lot of time, because we are launching EYA 2025. And when we talk about Employer of the Year Awards, we technically mean a lot of business. We mean business across many divides. We mean business from a functional perspective. We mean business from an emotional perspective. And we mean business from a business operational perspective. So I will not dwell much on a lot of things, but before I proceed with my presentation to take you through the detail, I want to give you a recap on 2023, what happened, so that as we go into 2025, everyone is well prepared. The ground is leveled out, and everyone has an equal chance of carrying that trophy at the end of the evaluation process. So I'll begin to take you through the detail in terms of who is Nelson. In Africa, it's only fair that you introduce yourself before you go through the detail in terms of what you're going to do. So allow me to introduce Nelson IQ. Nelson IQ is the leading research company globally. So when Dr. Jacqueline tells you this is their evaluation partner, she means a lot of business. Nelson is 102 years old. We've been in this business since 1923. I don't know how many people in this room have heard about Nelson before I spoke about it. If you had not, now you know. We've been in this market from 1923. We produced the first consumer market survey in 1929. And the brain behind Nelson technically defined what market share is globally. We are part of the Forbes 2000 US and Fortune 500 global companies. So if you Google Nielsen, you'll find a lot of stories about us. And when we look at East Africa specifically, we are 35 years old in East Africa and still going strong. And of course, I'm here with my MD, the lovely Faith Wanderi, seated down there. She leads our business for both East and West Africa. And she's here because this entire process means a lot, even to Nielsen as a company, so that by the time we come back and tell you who the winner is, everything has gone through due process. So I want to have a recap on year 2023. And as we look at it, on to the next slide, it's just technically having a review of what happened. And I realized from the time we started, many organizations here did not participate last year. And my question is why? And the answer is, that's why we are launching from this region. When we launch from this region, the expectation is we're going to have participation from this region. So we had about 326 organizations that expressed their desire to participate. 123 organizations completed the submission for respective categories. We had 54 that were selected for validation. Of course, these are companies that went through the full hog and provided the details across a full category or all the categories. Out of the 54, 43 went through with the validation. We had about 11 that due to technical issues were not able to participate during the full process. So what are some of our previous year observations? And that lady there represents the story behind some of the things you'll see on the next slide. Key learnings. This evaluation is competitive. And in any situation where there's competition, you never let your guard down. Part of the key learnings that we had last year is you'll go on to the portal, you'll submit your responses based on what your organization has, and then a team of consultants and subject matter experts will come to your organization to do a compliance check. So during this session, prepare adequately based on what you have submitted online. Showcase all your competitive areas because at the end of the day, the best organization is going to win. We do a compliance check. So are you able to show us evidence? It's one thing to say we've got a strategic plan, but when we come to visit you, are you able to show us? Are you able to take us through it? And some of the companies that really performed well last year, they not only showed us, but part of their leadership were present and they took us through their organization's plan. At the end of the day, when the consultants were leaving the organization, it was very clear in terms of what this organization's plan is. It's important to have an EYA ambassador, and I know all the members have an EYA ambassador internally. And this person needs to be the one single point of contact who leads this evaluation process. This helps us to be able to have one center of information for each organization. So we would really encourage that. Remember, teamwork wins. The organizations we went, and when we walked in at 8 a.m., the boardroom was full. And by the time we were leaving the organization at 5 p.m., the boardroom was still full. That was very, very high levels of involvement and people who are playing to win. Do not forget to have your best practices, because if you do not show yours, competition will show theirs, and there's a possibility that they'll go over the top. So for the previous winners, I'll not delve deeper into it. I'll just show a sleek preview on it because Dr. Jacqueline has spoken through what it is. On the next slide, we've got our overall winners. We had Isuzu, we had Signa, we had Crown Paints as the top three. Of course, we also have 4 all the way up to 10 in terms of who else played within that space. And technically, anyone here could go up and any new entrant could come. It's been almost 2 years post the evaluation. On to the next slide, we have the new entrant that we introduced after having feedback, because we always agree that feedback is a gift. The SME category felt like they were left out. Last year, we had the first session and they had an overall winner, a second runner-up and a third runner-up, and all the organizations that fall within the SME. We had a question during the Q&A in terms of, are some of the organizations you see in this list really SMEs? The definition of SMEs is what we use based on how each and every organization has been registered in FKE. And that gives us a guideline of the processing and the segmentation. So quickly, let me go into the employer of the year part. What will consist of the evaluation process? The evaluation process has stages that come into play. One is the survey evaluation that we are launching today. Each and every member will get a link immediately after I finish this process to participate in the different categories that we would want to. The second part will be the validation visit. A team will come to your organization to check and verify. There is an aspect that is done by the subject matter experts to check what your organization is saying vis-a-vis what your organization is also doing. And then, of course, we add color to the story from a journalistic language perspective, the qualitative output. What else do we see in your organization? Our key categories are the 8 that you see here. And of course, SME is the 9th one that cuts across what we already have. On the next slide, I'll delve deeper into some of the highlights that include what is evaluated under each thematic area. Under leadership, there are key things that we check. Of course, this includes and are not limited to this. When you go into the survey, you'll see a bit more aspects that are evaluated. So under leadership, we check, do you have vision? Do you have a succession planning? Is there a HR policy? Do you have zero tolerance on corruption? And is it something that we can see? Under effective HR practices, do you have strategic partnership for handling human resource? Does your organization commit to budgetary human resource initiatives? And does human resource and industrial relations part of your board agenda? Not just hearsay. What you have vis-a-vis what you can show that actually happens in your organization. Do not hesitate to show everything and put everything on the table, because if you don't, somebody else will, and the person who does it has a higher chance of winning this. Okay? This we leave for a more detailed read, and of course, it's part of the questionnaire that each organization will be participating in. For the category winners, we've got 2 aspects that we will look at. Doesn't mean that the overall winners will be men, no. And doesn't necessarily mean that the category winners will be female, no. It can go either way. Those are photos that are just representative of what could possibly happen. So we'll have overall winners, and for your organization to be an overall winner, you must participate in all the categories. Why? At the end of the day, it is very, very competitive, and you need each and every mark to put you at the top. We also have an opportunity to just allow you to choose what you're comfortable to participate in. And this is what we'll award for the categories. So if you log in and all you want to do is participate in effective HR practices, it's an option for you. If all you want to do is go for corporate governance, it's also an option for you. You can pick that, participate, and under all organizations who have participated under that category, you have an equal chance of winning. So the footsteps between now and 7th of November, we've got a 9-step agenda. So today we are launching here. Between April, May, and June is the evaluation period. So take time, put your papers in order, look at the questionnaire, read it, and do your submissions. In July, we'll begin the data analysis. And after that, the shortlisted companies will be visited. In August, we'll do the visitations and the verification an entire month. In September, we'll re-embark on doing the analysis and the validations for all the ones that will have been revisited. In October, we'll do the thorough scaling and grading and also ranking based on the data that will have been validated. And on 7th November, we'll have the award ceremony that is very beautiful and detailed, courtesy of FKE. So we hope that in November, one of you will be lifting this trophy. And the details of the wear and the glam around it will be delivered by FKE. I can promise you it's an event to behold. So at this time, I would want to wish all the organizations the best, the very best. The ground is leveled. Nobody is coming to the table with an upper hand. Every organization that is a member of FKE has an equal chance of winning. See the way every time a football match starts, you never know which team will win? Same situation. 90 minutes of play. We've got almost 9 steps into play. At the 90th minute, we'll come back and have a session in terms of who will carry that trophy. And finally, I want to leave you with a quote from this gentleman who developed these beautiful companies over 102 years ago. His name is Arthur C. Nielsen. The company carries his name to date. And one of his most powerful quotes is, "The price of light is less than the cost of darkness." Thank you.
Thank you. A round of applause. Thank you. Thank you, Pauline, for that insightful presentation. Okay, thank you, Pauline, for that insightful presentation. I know now, as participants who want to be part of it, we are well equipped to participate in the Employer of the Year Awards 2025. And of course, we'll encourage you immediately after the launch. You can right away submit your entry. Now, ladies and gentlemen, this is the opportunity we've been waiting for. The time for the launch is here. We want to to unveil the trophy for the Employer of the Year Awards. And in this session, I will request Ms. Jacqueline Mugo to come on stage. Mr. Odongo, the regional president, to join us on stage. Dr. Margaret Olo to join us on stage, and our chief guest also to join us on stage, and also Ms. Faith Wanderi, the MD of Nelson. I will invite you to come and join us on stage. Let's put our hands together as they come. Thank you. Karibuni sana. just join us here on stage, on top stage here. Okay, thank you. I will now invite you to be upstanding. This is the time we've been waiting. We want to unveil our trophy. Now our trophy, we have a team of ladies who will be walking the aisle as they bring the trophy on stage. Now we can get a music. Okay, let's put our hands together as they walk and come. Let's cheer. Thank you, asanteni sana. Okay, karibu sana. They are coming to present. We start our countdown. 1. Thank you. Now we are presenting. Asante sana. We lifting. Thank you. Let's clap. Asante. Let's put our hands together. Asante sana. That is the trophy, the Employer of the Year Awards. It might be you who will be having that. Asante sana. Let's continue clapping. Thank you. Asante. Yes, thank you. Let's have a photo as they. Asante sana. Thank you. Okay. Now we. Asante. Thank you. Asante sana. Thank you so much. Let's put our hands together. Thank you. Asante sana. Now, at this moment, I will be able to hand over to the executive director just to make the final call on this.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Employer of the Year Awards is now officially launched. So it is now your turn. It is time for you to be part of this exciting journey. I want to urge all employers to submit their entries for this year's awards. This is a unique opportunity for you to showcase your commitment to excellence, to best practices, and creating a positive work environment for your success in the end. We want to see your efforts in building a thriving workplace, and we are here to recognize those employers who are leading the way in shaping the future of work and in improving their businesses. We want to see your efforts showcased by you giving the evidence as so ably represented to you by the consultant. Remember, your participation is important to the success of EYA, not only for your own specific recognition as an organization, but for the good of all enterprises in this country and improving the overall performance of the economy of this nation. So I want to encourage you to please register and submit your entries starting today. Now, to give you a better idea of what to expect and how to get involved, I would like to ask my IT team, there's a young man here, Tevin, who came all the way from Nairobi to support us. Tevin, could you please play the video? And I suppose we have to sit for us to see the video. Thank you all very much.
Okay, thank you so much. It was a short session, and those who have joined us online, we appreciate for your time, for joining us. And now this is the time that you need now just to visit the website of FK so that you enter your submission and start the journey. Thank you so much. And I also want to thank our members in the room for being here since morning up to this time. Thank you for your support, and thank you the online team. Asanteni sana. I think at your own pleasure you can log out. Thank you so much. Asante. Let's put our hands together. Asante sana. Thank you. Thank you.